and you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. There's no way. There's no way.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
It's not the Great Value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
This questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the Week and signature, I would say. It's become that in just our history. For more on the history, Austin.
Yeah. So MLB, in-out maybe. I think this is a major sport that we do in-out maybes for. I think we've done it before for other sports, but this is the true one to start it all out. I still remember Kevin a couple years ago with the in-out maybe, with the Cardinals winning 18 games straight, and he had them as out, and I had them as maybe. They ended up making the playoffs, and that's why I won the in-out maybe for that one. These were not a part of our Outsiders Opinions 5th year anniversary because we don't consider these major predictions, but we do like to do them, and we'll obviously review them by the time the playoffs come around. So, Kevin, which league do you want to start with?
Well, you know what? I'm not scared of the Cardinals. I'll go NL, and I'll just say it. Cardinals are out in my prediction. I'm not scared. So that's the bottom of it, and then I'll just go all the way up. Diamondbacks out. Reds, maybe. Giants, maybe. Mets in. Padres in. Cubs, maybe. Dodgers in. Phillies in. Brewers in.
So your one maybe in the NL is the Cubs?
No, I have three maybes. The Cubs, Giants.
No, I'll say that we're
Reds.
in the playoffs.
Yes, the Cubs are my maybe.
Even though they're 6 games into the playoffs, you think they have a chance of going on a bad stretch?
I do think they have a bad case of going on the stretch because they were struggling earlier this year, and they did figure it out, but I am concerned about them.
Okay, so we'll start from the top down for mine. I have Brewers is in, Phillies is in, Dodgers is in, Cubs is in, Padres is in, Mets is maybe, Giants is maybe, Reds is out, Diamondbacks out, Cards is out. So the only 2 teams I have as maybes are the Mets and Giants. The Mets and Giants have basically an equal difficulty of schedule coming up. The Mets play some hard teams. Right now they're playing the Phillies and losing as we are recording currently. They're 2.5 games above the San Francisco Giants. The Giants do have some tough opponents coming up like the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have struggled this year. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants could steal a couple games from them and make up the 2.5 games they have on the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets were tough, but I think they have enough to do it. And the Giants, I was surprised to hear they were close to it when I looked at it. And they are a good team that you and I always believe in, so I wouldn't be shocked if they made it. Reds, to me, are a young team, so that is why I had them as a maybe, because maybe they do get kind of like how the Tigers were last year.
Yeah, the Phillies, not the Phillies. The Mets have lost 4 straight games, though. And they play the Phillies today, Phillies tomorrow. Then they play the Rangers for a 3-game series, Padres for a 3-game series. Then they play Nationals. Then they play Cubs for a 3-game series, and then they play Marlins. So they have 6 games there against easy teams, and all the rest are against playoff teams or teams that are close to the playoffs. The Giants have, I would say, a relatively similar scheduled. They play the Dodgers for a 3-game series, the Diamondbacks for a 3-game series, the Dodgers for a 3-game series, the Cardinals for a 3-game series, and the Rockies for a 3-game series. So there's 6 games against teams that aren't close. The Diamondbacks by that point may be far enough away that they could sweep them or win 2 out of 3 like they did just recently. And then they play the Dodgers for 7 games. They have one 4-game series in there with the Dodgers. So it's really going to come down to can they beat the Dodgers in those 7 games, maybe 4-3 or 5-2, to make it that advantage over the Mets to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll have to see. But that concludes the NL, and I'll let you go to the AL.
So for the AL, I have the Blue Jays and Tigers both as in. I have the Astros as maybe. I have the Yankees and Red Sox as in. I have the Mariners as maybe, the Rangers as maybe, the Guardians, Royals, and Rays all as out. So I have two teams that are in right now, but like they're currently in the playoffs as maybe, those being the Astros and Mariners. Only one team that's out of the playoffs as maybe. So you might be wondering, like, how do those three teams kind of – I can see any of those three teams missing the playoffs. I can see the Astros, Mariners, and Rangers as missing the playoffs, but I think that two of those three will end up getting in.
Yeah, it's a really tough race that has kind of really happened. Especially the Rangers are the most surprising to me because that is something that we will have to do, or the Rangers with a lot of injuries have been able to come back and push themselves into it. Mariners and Astros have been atop of it consistently. But yeah, so we'll go into mine is Toronto in, Detroit in, Houston maybe, Yankees in, Red Sox in, Mariners in, Rangers out, Guardians maybe, Royals maybe. And then the Rays are out.
Okay. Why are those your maybes?
So Houston to me is pretty shaky. I put the Mariners as in because I trust they can either get in the wild card or the division, which I think is more likely than, and I could see Houston just falling out. And Guardians or Royals to me are a team that can push for it. Rangers, it's hard. They've have great stretches, but it's keeping up those great stretches because there have been a lot of bad stretches. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Okay. Anything else you want to note?
So kind of what you have Houston and the Mariners as maybe kind of why are you doubtful of the Mariners?
They're 5-5 in their last 10. They still have a concerning schedule in front of them. Let me just find the teams they play. Yeah, they're going to play against. They're playing against the Cardinals today as they're recording. Then they play the Angels, the Royals, who are still trying to get into the playoffs. Then they play the Astros. Then they play the Rockies, who aren't that hard. But then they play the Dodgers to close out the year. So they're playing against. They have 9 games coming up against teams that are in the playoff hunt, and the Angels are not that bad of a team. And like I said, they're 5-5 in their last 10. The Rangers, they do have kind of a hard schedule as well, even though they have swept the Brewers. They still have the Mets, Astros, and then they've had the Marlins and Twins, who are not that good, and then they play the Guardians, who are still in the playoff, but by then may not be. So I just think all three of those teams could realistically lose enough games to miss the playoffs, and all the teams that I mentioned between them have 2 games between them. Between the Astros, Mariners, and Rangers, the Mariners are 1 game behind the Astros, and the Rangers are 1 game behind the Mariners. So it's going to be a close race at the end. In the last 10 games, the Astros are 3-7, the Mariners are 5-5, and the Rangers are 7-3. So if they keep those stretch over the next 10 games, then the Rangers would be leading the division. But we'll see if that actually takes shape.
Yeah, I would love it, but we'll have to see because the Rangers have had amazing stretches where they beat the best teams at the time, but we'll have to see. I'll let you close this one out.
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Please let us know which teams you think will get into the playoffs, which teams you have as maybe, which teams you have as in, and which teams you have as out.